What's going on, gladiators? This is Dice the Doomblade coming at you from the Undercity Coliseum tournament. This is round 3. I'll be playing Dr. Love. So that's my Grixis Control versus his white weenie, or Boros Weenies. And our match officially starts at 8:15, so T-minus 8 minutes. Before then, I guess I'll just go over my thoughts on the matchup. Let me just bring up the deck lists here. Okay, so I'm playing Grixis Control, and the basic idea is to attack my opponent's hand, kind of mess up their curve, and land a threat like Nicol Bolas or Doom Whisperer and start going to town. Now that's my general game plan. Against Boros Weenies, what I really want to do is be able to remove the first couple of threats they play, so that when Dr. Love plays his Banalish Marshal or his Venerated Loxodon, I'm not getting hit for 1,000,000 damage. And if I can do that, if I can stabilize by casting like a Golden Demise or a Ritual of Soot, then hopefully I can turn the corner with my threats. Because Boros Weenies or any white weenie variant is not a deck that has card advantage. Explicit card advantage, obviously History of Benalia and Legion's Landing both provide card advantage if left unchecked, but after they've exhausted their initial hand, and especially if I've been able to attack it, then I can play something like Bolas and flip him, or just play a Doom Whisperer that's basically bigger than anything that they could play, and just really grind them out. That's the plan. Now, typically though, Grixis Control and any blue-black control is weak to aggro strategies because our sweepers are not as good as Jeskai Control. Cleansing Nova is a catch-all answer to everything, and while Ritual of Soot basically kills everything that White Weenie or Boros Weenie can throw at us, I'd rather have Deafening Clarion in my 3-mana spot than Golden Demise. The upside to Golden Demise is it does get rid of Adanto Vanguard, so there's that. I'm also running Moment of Craving explicitly for cards like Vanguard and Steamkin. So it's really going to come down to whether I can draw my answers before Dr. Love can curve out. So one notable thing about my list is it's suboptimal in that I only have 7 red sources, right? And ideally I'd want something like 8 or 9, but I'm the kind of player who likes experimenting with different decks, and that kind of meant that my wild cards went elsewhere. They didn't always go to making this Grixis Control deck as good as it could be, but so far I've done okay. In round 1, my opponent gave me a free win because he couldn't make our match and graciously just offered me the win. We got to play a fun match though, and him being Golgari, probably this deck's second weakest matchup after Mono Red, he crushed me 2-1. I don't even think I don't even think it was I don't even think I was in the running that game. I mean, I won the second game because he flooded out, but both games he won, he just managed to outgrind me. Round 2, I played Dimir Control, and they're pretty similar decks. I mean, the only difference really between my deck and my opponent's for round 2 was that I was running Nicol Bolas and red sources, so my sideboard's a little bit different. I have access to cards like Ral, Izzet Viceroy, Lava Coils, which came in handy against some of his value creatures like Thief of Sanity. And but White Weenie is definitely an archetype that I'm scared of as Grixis Control. I have 5 sweepers total in my deck, and if I don't draw them, I kind of have to hope to keep up 1-for-1ing my removal for his creatures, which is not great when he plays stuff like History of Benalia. So just to look at my sideboard plan here, I'm basically looking to lower my mana curve as much as possible. I want to bring in the cheap removal, want to side out cards like the Eldest Reborn, bring in the cheaper counterspell, Syncopate, and side out Sinister Sabotage, which is usually too late to be countering stuff like a Venerated Loxodon. Now, my dream is to be able to Syncopate a Venerated Loxodon because it both gets one of their creatures, prevents one of their creatures from hitting the battlefield and prevents the pump effect. but also just causes a huge tempo loss for them. They basically tap out to play the Loxodon. So that's my dream, is to be able to counter something like that. And then my ideal game plan is to land the Thief of Sanity and start going to town. Now, if I look at their deck list and I look at their sideboard, I think what Dr. Love's going to want to do is to grind alongside me. So if I'm trying to cause card disadvantage with the Disinformation campaign and with Thought Erasure and Nicol Bolas, I'm predicting that Dr. Love is going to want to board in the Experimental Frenzies, the Ajani's, which will just provide straight up value. And if he plays Ajani, maybe my decision to side out the Eldest Reborn is going to be wrong, but I think in general it's going to be the right decision. He might board in the Honor Guard to stop shenanigans from like my Blood Operative and my Bolas. He may board in the Resplendent Angel as just an evasive threat that can basically block my Thief of Sanity. He'll definitely board in the Johnny's Last Stand to counter Disinformation campaign, Bolas, and Thought Erasure. Color the Culprit to kill my big creatures, and that's it. So he's probably boarding in 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, at least 10 cards. You know, that's what I predict his sideboard is going to be. He's going to go bigger to be able to outgrind me, because both the Johnny and Frenzy, if they resolve, are going to be super difficult for me to get rid of. And especially Experimental Frenzy is going to be a nightmare. Cool, Red Army. Thanks, man. I'm hoping to have some good games. I hope I don't just get blown out 2-0. But even if I put up a good showing, go 2-1, I'll be happy with that. So it's 8:14. I'm just going to message Dr. Love and see if he's ready to go. Sweet. Okay, so he's ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm just going to switch my settings here on Twitch to show the game. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to send him the direct challenge request, but before I do that, I will probably just clone this tournament deck for easy sideboarding so that I can sideboard on the clone and then just delete it. No fuss, no muss. All right, Dr. Love, let's get to it. What I want to see in my opening hands are cards like Ritual of Sit, Golden Demise, Moment of Craving, just to be able to slow my opponent down. Main board, I believe Dr. Love is only running 4 removal spells in the 4 Conclave Tribunals. So if I can stick a threat, which is likely game 1, I foresee my threats only really getting removed in combat with a combat trick like Pride of Conquerors, or if I have to trade. And that's usually how it goes, is I lose Bolas because he has to block Nadanto Vanguard that's going to be swinging in and taking me from like 6 to 2 or something like that. So I hope that I can slow him down. That's the whole goal here. Okay, just gonna tell Dr. Love I sent the challenge. Alrighty. May the best deck win, I guess. I would be absolutely thrilled to beat White Weenie, because it's one of those decks that it's one of those boogeyman that Grixis Control or any blue-black control deck has, is facing aggro or facing Golgari, because in the case of aggro, sometimes it's just too fast, and Deafening Clarion is definitely a card that helps out that matchup immensely. Not having access to it and having to make do with either Golden Demise or, in Grixis' case, Fiery Cannonade is a little bit challenging. And sometimes Golden Demise just isn't enough, especially after a Banalish Marshal has hit the table. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, just waiting now for Dr. Love to accept the challenge. One thing I noticed about Dr. Love's list, and it's sort of similar situation with me, is he's got a suboptimal mana base, right? So he's running the Guild Gates instead of the Retreats, and I'd be curious to know if he's running these budget lands because he spent his wild cards elsewhere. No, I've been working a lot on my Golgari Undergrowth deck, my Izzet Drake's deck, and sort of trying to see if I can make a viable blue-red burn deck featuring Adeliz. So that would basically be mono-red, but instead of Goblin Chain Whirler, it would be Adeliz. And I think that makes the deck more explosive, more vulnerable, definitely, because Adeliz is not a good blocker. She dies to Shock or Shivan Fire. But she does pump the Gitu Lava Runner, she does pump the Vishino Pyromancer. And I think that can lead to some really explosive plays. Now, I have a blue-red Wizards list that I currently play, and it runs stuff like, it's not a straight-up burn list, but it does run Shock and Lightning Strike and Wizards Lightning. Let me just see where Dr. Love is at. Okay, so he says he's online, just kind of waiting now. Anyway, back to blue-red Wizards. I've gotten turn 4 kills with the deck. So in that regard, it's much more explosive and it can be potentially faster than mono red. It's also fairly consistent. Like, I run 21 lands, but land drops are never an issue because I run cards like Opt and 4 Chart of Course. And Adeliz, if she's not interacted with, can steal a game. So I've been working on a blue-red burn deck, subbing out all the subpar wizards like Siren Storm Tamer, subpar in this deck, subbing out some of the draw spells like Chart of Course and Opt for just straight-up burn spells, Experimental Frenzies, and risk factors. But I think I need 2 or 3 more wildcards to make it viable. Okay, Dr. Love, what's the holdup? Okay, cool. So Red Army says he hasn't run to Grixis yet, but he runs White Weenie and is interested to see how this matchup goes. So, I mean, me too. I feel like I've played a ton of I played a ton against White Weenie when I used to play my Grixis Control on the regular. I've sort of stepped back from playing Grixis Control. I played it super heavily for a good 2 months and experimented with so many variations. I even put a Niv Mizzet in it a couple of times just to see if it was worth it. It's just, well, that was a bad experiment. I don't think that Niv Mizzet's color requirements jive with what Grixis wants to do and its color requirements, because it's a heavy blue-black deck. But every time I play against White Weenie, it feels like a coin toss. If I draw the sweepers, then I'm good. I can turn the corner. But White Weenie just has these. Okay, here we go. White Weenie just has these nut draws, and they're so dense in the 3 and 5 drop spot with their lords, with the Benalish Marshal and the Venerated Loxodon. Okay, this is not my tournament deck. Oh shit. I forgot that this is the sideboarded version. Okay, let me just tell Dr. Love I've got a little hiccup here. I'll have to concede anyway because Thief of Sanity is not in my main board. Okay, so this has to go. Okay. These are definitely in the sideboard. I'm at 53. Okay, so the Cravings are in the main, Discovery's in the main, Blood Operatives in the main, One Demise in the main, all the campaigns, all the rituals. Oh god, I forgot that this... I really hate how Direct Challenge is just best of 1. Okay, I think the easier way to do this is just to clone my current Grixis Control deck. And we'll rename it Tournament Grixis. Okay, so Dr. Love just commiserating, saying, yeah, it's clunky as shit. And the only difference is I did not have 4 Drowned Catacombs when I registered the deck, so I've got to take those out. Turn Grixis. Otherwise, the deck is the same. Okay, so let me put in... I don't want to think too hard about it right now. Let's just double check. Seven lands, 7 swamps, 3 islands. Alright, there we go. Okay. Tournament Grixis. Alright, I'm ready to go. Tournament There we go. Okay, this is a slow hand. I think I need to mulligan this. I don't have any action till turn 3, and by turn 3, especially since Dr. Love's on the play, he's gonna have 3 or 4 bodies. I think I need to mulligan this and look for cast downs and stuff. Okay, this is better. I have Syncopate for his Adanto Vanguard, or I could Thought Erasure. Alright. Don't think I want to go to 5 in this matchup. Bottom this land because I have 4 in hand. I actually can't. I can't Syncopate his Adanto Vanguard. So I think here the Syncopate, holding Syncopate versus casting Erasure, I think I want to remove his explosive turn 3 play. Right, yeah, this is about how White Weenie goes. So I want to remove the Benalish Marshal or the Venerated Loxodon or the History of Benalia, if he's got it. I want to remove that explosive turn 3 play. Okay. So I take the Benalia, he takes the Bodyguard, he casts the Bodyguard next turn, and the turn after that he pumps his army. But I can probably, if he taps out for the Loxodon, I can probably Syncopate it and buy myself some time. So I'll take the History here. I think I'll keep the Discovery there. So I go down to 13. I'm not going to cast Discovery though, but the last thing I want is to... Oof. Yep, okay, so I think he's just got this. He can definitely cast the Loxodon here. Not looking good. This is looking like a blowout. And I think here I do need to cast Discovery. I need to dig for Ritual of Soot. Okay, both Vanguard's protected, so even if I cast Ritual of Soot, I get 3 creatures. Because he's definitely going to sacrifice... No, he's going to sacrifice this Bodyguard to protect this Bodyguard. If I even do get to cast Ritual. Otherwise, I'm just dead. And what I was talking about with the threat density that they have at 3 and 5, no, none of these will do. I need a Ritual of Soot. Okay, didn't draw it. Just play this tapped. And let's see, that's 4, 7, 10, 13 plus 5. I'm dead. I think I just concede here, or just let it happen. It's absolutely nutty. Okay, yeah, yeah, good game. Sometimes White Weenie just has these nut draws, right? If you're blue-black control, you're really banking, you're really hoping that they stumble in their lands or they flood out. because those nut draws are also like just below average draws for them. Like they happen just below an average amount of times, and they're so dense because they basically cap out at 3. I wouldn't even consider Loxodon a 5 drop because it's never cast with 5 lands. Okay, so we'll clone this. Yeah, this is the clone. Okay, so yeah, exactly, Red Army. This is, I mean, it's rough, but that's how it goes. Yeah, Golden Demise would have been a solid answer there, so I'm definitely boarding in 1. So I'm boarding out Reborn, Dream Eater. Just gonna double check my sideboard notes. Two discoveries, a thought erasure, a campaign. So I'm boarding in 9 things, and Sinister Sabotage. And I'm bringing in Lava Coil, Duress, Demise, Thief, Contempt, Syncopate. Oh god. I keep forgetting how this works. Yet another sign that the developers and I guess Wizards of the Coast don't really care about best of 3. Okay. So I'm keeping in the Blood Operatives because they're good blockers against all of their early things and even Vanguard. If they choose to make Vanguard indestructible against the Blood Operative, that's a 7-point swing. Okay, so Lava Coils, the rest. I don't even care where I'm putting it. I'm putting them everywhere on the curve, but I'm just trying to get them in the deck so that I can play. That's it. Okay. Maybe I should shorten the name. Okay, I'll just call it T Grixis. Okay. T Grixis. It feels bad to basically not do anything. That's the only thing is. Oh god. So these can sort of be non-games. I don't think I can keep this. I can't cast Coil, I can't cast Campaign. I mean, and Campaign and Whisper aren't even necessarily what I want in hand. Okay, this is a little better. But it's still a super slow hand. So my deck's stumbling here, not being able to find the cards that it needs. Okay, I'll keep that on top, for sure. Okay. So if nothing else, this is a good answer to Vanguard. Play the Summit. Now, I have an option here. I can choose to try and dig for a sweeper with Discovery, or I mean, it's not like I'm gonna kill this vampire. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm not in a huge hurry to use this Moment of Craving just yet. Perfect. Do I want the duress? I think the window for duress being very good is over, but I think I'll keep it. I might be able to snipe a experimental frenzy if he chose to board those in. So next turn I can Moment of Craving the Vanguard. Okay, there's another one drop coming. Yeah. Okay. Definitely don't want the landing to flip, so I think I want to... I want to kill the Aspirant, just because it has higher upside than the Bodyguard. And I think the Bodyguard is protecting the Aspirant anyway. So let me duress here, and then I'll play the island and Moment of Craving the Aspirant. Let me just see if I can take a history or... yeah. It's gone. There's nothing he can play that'll... My hope is that he just... Let me put a stop at his main phase before combat. My hope is that he just runs everything out and runs everything into a Golden Demise. And if that happens and I can play Bolas, I think the game's over. Okay, we'll go to combat, but I will kill the Aspirants here. So I'll gain 2 life, I'll lose 3 this attack, but at least the landing doesn't transform. Okay. Hopefully he plays a land and then plays a hawk and... okay. This is good. This is... oh. You beautiful deck! I'm so glad he's not running Hunted Witness. I mean, I guess it's not a huge deal, but... okay, perfect. And if he's still mana screwed, he'll play maybe Hawk and Landing. Sweet. Okay, so I think he plays the Hawk here. I can make him discard the other Landing. So this game turning out a lot better than the last one. I'm actually getting to play a game. Yay! Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and attack and then Golden Demise again. And that exhausts my Golden Demises, so... this duress now useless, and basically any thought erasure I draw from here on out, it's going to be useless. Okay, so opponents, unfortunately, he only drew the bottom half of his deck, all the tiny creatures, and didn't draw all of any of the enablers, like the Benalish Marshal, like the Venerated Loxodon, and I'm not sure. I haven't seen a red source. I haven't seen him play a single Clifftop Retreat or Boros Guildgate, so he may have decided not to board in the Experimental Frenzies or some of his bigger stuff. He might have just decided, look, I'm playing Grixis Control. It's typically weak. Yeah, it's typically weak against my deck. I'm just gonna go as fast as possible. Okay, just send him a quick GG for that match. For that match. And we'll go again. We go again. I said if I went 2-1, I'd be happy. Against White Weenie, that's typically not the result I get in BO3. Going back to what you said though, Red Army, about not playing cards against aggro. If I'm playing against a non-interactive deck with my blue-red wizards, it wins turn 4 pretty consistently. It's just like Lava Runner into Pyromancer into Ataliz into like Wizard's Lightning, Opt, and then something silly, and it just wrecks. But of course, a single shock ruins my day. Still a fun deck to play sometimes. I tried it in ranked, but I think that it just tanked my rank, so I stopped. Alright. Dr. Love maybe reevaluating his sideboard. So I guess maybe I'll talk while I'm waiting. I'll talk about why I'm playing Grixis Control. Okay, here we go. Never mind. No time to talk. Is that a Teferi thing? Okay. This hand is okay. This hand is okay. I've got Duress into Cast Down, into Thief, into Vraska. So at the very least, I Duress their History of Benalia or Frenzy if they decided to run it. And Thief dodges all of the removal except for Response. I think they run a single copy of Response Resurgence. And it dodges Collar the Culprit and Citywide Bust. I think they run one of those. One of the spells that basic... Oh, he's choosing to be on the draw. Okay. Well, I will happily cast this turn 1 Duress. Okay. Oops. If I could emote, I'd go oops, but I muted emotes because they're obnoxious most of the time. Okay. I think in response to the Marshal, I kill the Aspirant. Yeah, and then I can shock myself next turn to play the Thief. Okay, I'm in a decent spot here. Opponent's got one Enabler in hand. Okay. Now I'll respond to the trigger. I'll put full control on just in case. There we go. There we go. Oh, wait! Is it not a... It's not an enter the battlefield trigger. Okay, that was a pretty embarrassing misplay on my part. I always thought it was an enter the battlefield trigger, but I guess not. Oh, right! Yeah, true. I was too busy talking. I didn't realize, and this is why I really dislike aspects of the direct challenge system. Obviously, it's great that we can, but I mean, I think our hands are like 50-50 against each other. He's got the Loxodon, but I've got a Thief and the Contempt, so yeah. Just see if he notices my Discord message. Cause yeah, this is I was sure that he would want to play, so just messaging him, seeing if he responds. I also just want to message. I want to confirm with him. I mean, I'm happy to let him restart on the play. Okay. Dr. Love messaging me saying it's okay. All right. That I feel a little scummy. I won't lie, but it was also an honest mistake. I mean, I don't think anyone could have seen me start the round and go, ooh, I'm on the play and I'm not gonna give it to him. It's the wave of new. He messaged me saying it's the wave of new magic. It's not necessarily better magic. Okay, I play the Thief here. Just because the Snubhorn, I'm going to take 2 from the Aspirant, that's it. The Aspirant's not going to be flying for a long time. And, I mean, he could make them bigger with the Loxodon next turn, but it's not a huge deal for me. Red Army, so yeah, I did message him on Discord saying that, you know, I'm happy to let him restart on the play, but he said it's fine, and then something like, I think he made a little joke that it's a new wave of magic. Here we go, here's the Loxodon. And like I said, I feel a little scummy about it, but I'm not blocking any of these. The Thief is just too much value to block with, and even if... Okay, I think I play this Loxodon, and I play a campaign. Let me play the campaign first. Let's see what I draw. Although there is nothing... I could possibly draw another Duress, which may be better than Bodyguard. No. Okay. So, thinking of his next play... I go to 9. I kill his Aspirant unless he has 2 more permanents on the battlefield in which he gets flying and then can block my Thief. And then I'll have to kill it with a Contempt. I want to save the Contempt for the Loxodon. So I'll protect the Thief with the Bodyguard, but I'm gonna sacrifice this Bodyguard in combat anyway. He's gonna have 4 lands this turn because the landing is gonna flip. And him not casting anything first main. Okay. Yep. Okay, I think I want to kill this soldier here. Let's trade. He could have Pride of Conquerors. Go to 11. Okay. Gross. No friend of mine. I think I have to kill that. Oh no. And I think, no, that's not quite City's Blessing, but it's close. The decision I have to make is, do I kill a Johnny with a Thief or do I swing at face? If I kill a Johnny with Thief, I can kill the Loxodon probably, or I probably want to kill the Aspirant. Not sure. I'm scared of what that final card in hand is, and he's gonna have another one. But I think I want to save my resources and just... Like, I don't want to take a full turn off just dealing with a Johnny with Vraska's Contempt. Lash out all you want. If I don't remove one of his creatures, I take 7, 8, 9, 10. That's too much. The play that makes the most use of my mana is the Thought Erasure and Recast Campaign, but I take way too much damage. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna Contempt that Aspirant so my Thief can continue getting in for damage. And if he has Pride of Conquerors, 5, 8, 10. If he has Pride of Conquerors, I go to 1. Just don't want anything blocking my Thief. Bolas would be good here. Oh, jeez. Oh, I was sure that was... Okay. If I can tempt that aspirant, I go to... I would lose. 2, 4, 5. I had to go for the baller play here. I don't have many options, and in this case, I'd rather just go for the higher variance play. No point playing it safe when I'm facing down pretty certain defeat. Could play a Marshall. If I play a Marshall, it blocks. It can basically blank all of his attacks except for the Loxodon. Okay. Well, I think I play it. And then maybe I think I'm just going to Thought Erasure here preemptively. Just to see if I can get... If I can get a Ritual of Soot off the top, I would cast it. The reason I'm casting Thought Erasure when he has no cards in hand is it's not doing any good anyway. And it's not going to because we're both in top deck mode. Bolas is pretty decent here. Okay, I think I keep that on top. So anything he plays here gives him City's Blessing, yep. But I think I'm dead here. Block here. Yep, good game. Just kill that in combat and take the damage. Good game, Dr. Love. Even on the draw, managed to completely windmill slam me. Alright, good game. Whew. So that was quick and dirty. Game 1 and Game 3. Great. Game 2 he stumbled, and like I said, those are the games that Grixis Control wants to see when facing off against White Weenie, is games where they stumble. Otherwise, it's just these super consistent draws that are really difficult to deal with. Loxodon, Venerated Loxodon is such an unfair card. And when I think about the unfair cards that Grixis gets to play, I mean, there's stuff like, I guess the Eldest Reborn could be considered unfair. But stuff like Venerated Loxodon is just the nuts.